with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com. We're broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. It is Tuesday, May 15th, 2025. We are in the midst of the All-Star break in Major League Baseball, the start of training camp in the National Football League. So we will bring you the various stories from around the sports world. If you have a thought, a comment, a concern, or something you want to get out on the show, youtube.com/12OZ Sports. That's youtube.com/12OZ Sports. And hit that subscribe button. Because if you hit the subscribe button, you get all of the great Rome Show content on the mothership. Dan, the social media is the Rome Show 1. That's the Rome Show, the number 1 on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. You know the drill. Follow the social media, and you'll get everything you need to know. Up-to-date content. Wise. The big dumper. Cal Raleigh. Seattle Mariner. The second Seattle Mariner since who? The GOAT. Ken Griffey Jr. to win the home run derby. Last night, Cal Raleigh defeated Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays 18-15 to win the T-Mobile home run derby in Atlanta. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you watched the home run derby last night, but I highly suggest you go find some highlights on this event because, as I mentioned on Monday's show, and furthermore, I think on Friday last week's show, when we talked a little bit about the interest level in the all-star games from the 4 major sports, the one thing that I said, and I will always say, and I will keep saying it, is that of the skills competitions that exist in the 4 major sports, the home run derby is arguably the best one, okay? And you saw it again last night. And the crazy part about last night's home run derby lineup is you had the best home run hitter in the league in Cal Raleigh competing in the derby, but you only had 3 of the top 10 home run hitters in the league and 5 of the top 17 home run hitters in the league. So I do think, based on what I witnessed last night, Major League Baseball still has a premier let's watch this product. They made some rule changes. We'll get into that in a second. But I think there's still a few more things that we could do to maximize the home run derby. We'll get into that in a second. Here are the results. As you can see on your screen, okay, the change this year, the major change, there was a few major changes, but the biggest change this year was that in the first round, okay, these guys were not paired up against each other, okay? So it was all 8 players in the first round against all 8 players. I love that, okay? To me, when they go to the second round and they make it 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3, I don't believe that that's as entertaining. I also don't believe it's right because if you look at the semifinals in the home run derby last night, O'Neal Cruz hit 13 homers in round 2. Quite the show, by the way. One of those homers was 513 feet. Yeah, 513 feet. You heard that correctly. Bombs were being hit all over Truist Park last night. But the O'Neal Cruz situation's a great one because Cal Raleigh hits 19 as the 4 seed. O'Neal Cruz has to hit 19 or better to beat him, yet he has the second most homers in the second round. So on top of the timing adjustments, on top of this adjustment in the first round, continue that. Have all 3 rounds just be Individual dude hitting bombs against individual dude. No bracket, none of that. So that's one thing I think we have to adjust. You adjusted it in the first round. It was an electric atmosphere. Awesome competition. A lot of fun to watch. But when you get to the second round and you're watching O'Neal Cruz have to fight in his last at bat or his last few outs, and you're like, well, he's already hit 5 more homers than the next closest guy. He should be in the final. Those are the stupidities. Another change I think needs to be made to Major League Baseball. The other one is if you're looking at this sheet up here, Brent Rooker had 17 homers in the first round, and Cal Raleigh had 17 homers in the first round, but Brent Rooker was eliminated. Why, you might ask? Because the tiebreaker in the first round was furthest ball hits. Okay, now listen to this. Cal Raleigh hit a ball in the first round 470.61 feet. Okay. Rooker, his farthest ball was 470.53 feet. So again, instead of doing like a 1v1, you hit a homer, I hit a homer, you hit a homer, you don't hit a homer, I win scenario, which would be so much more fun and engaging, we give Cal Raleigh the victory, though he ends up going on to win the whole thing. But no one kind of understands why. And what a dumb tiebreaker. Because what if I'm an elite home run hitter with not a lot of long distance power, but man, the ball gets off my bat and I can hit 395 to 405 foot home runs all day? Not the case with these animals, so maybe I'm asking the wrong question, but I found that stupid. Okay? Got to be a better tiebreaker. All right? So we have to make it that they're always competing against everyone in the competition for the first and the second round. We have to make it so the tiebreakers a one-pitch swing off, okay? And then from there, I love everything that was adjusted about the home run derby. If you didn't know it, in the past, okay, like the past, like the Mark McGwire, Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa, back in the day home run derbies, you had 10 outs. And every ball that didn't go over the fence counted as an out. Okay. Well, now we transitioned into, in the 2010s, a time limit. You got 3 minutes in the first round, hit as many homers as you can. Well, that also wasn't necessarily awesome either. So now you have a mesh of the two. In the first round, you get 40 pitches or 3 minutes with 145-second timeout. In the second and third round, 27 pitches or 2 minutes with 145-second timeout. Each round also gives you the opportunity, if you hit a ball over 425 feet, to get a bonus ball on your bonus round. Those are those balls, if you watched it, that were pink and white from T-Mobile. So all in all, I think a super successful home run derby. I do think that Major League Baseball really needs to find a way to get the best home run hitters in this thing. Now, nothing against Jazz Chittum Jr., nothing against Matt Olson. They need an Atlanta Brave participant, and late Ronald Acuna Jr. decided not to do it. But that's not fun. I didn't have fun watching Jazz hit 3 homers, okay? I didn't have fun watching Matt Olson only hit 15 homers, okay? I had a lot of fun watching O'Neal Cruz. I had a lot of fun watching Cal Raleigh, okay? Well, when you look at the statistics on the season, those two dudes are up there in the homer category. O'Neal Cruz has 16. Cal Raleigh leads the league. So I just think that we got to find a way, and it's all sports, not just baseball. How do we get the top 8 players and everything to compete? And I know that's not realistic, but okay, who are the top 8 home run hitters? Okay, let's go get those guys. If number 8 can't do it because he's hurt, all right, we're going right to number 9. Number 5 can't do it because he's hurt, we'll go to number 10. That's how it should be. That's what we want here, people. And you saw what it turns into. Cal Raleigh being the prime example. All right, ladies and gentlemen, taking a quick commercial break. When we come back, National Football League talk, okay? And other, not a long show today. I got to work my other job. So I came in here to get you as much as I could on the sports information before I have to go make those baseball players better. Oh, one more baseball story. The Rays, they're being sold. Yeah, you heard that correctly. The Tampa Bay Rays, Stu Sternberg, the owner, is selling them for $1.7 billion. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Here is a mind-blowing statistic, though. In 2004, just 21 years ago, when Sternberg bought the Rays, they were valued at $200 million. Isn't that crazy? 21 years ago, that franchise that's not even the greatest franchise is valued at $1.7 billion. So we'll see if it's a new era for the Tampa Bay Rays. Not for the Rome Show, though. We're right here, and we're back after this commercial break.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
You love when there you go. When you have your phone connected the entire time, and you come back from a commercial break and it doesn't work. Oh, wait, I forgot to do one thing. Hold, please.
It's the Rome Show!
That's right. It's the Rome Show. 12LC Sports, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. I've learned later on in my radio career, I wonder what number of years you have to work in a profession to call it a career. Nonetheless, what I've learned in my radio career is that you cannot be perfect behind this microphone. And when I first started the podcast a bunch of years back, I would spend so much time editing the show. I would spend so much time trying to cut out all the mistakes I might have made or the words I cut out of, or right there, I would have paused, restarted the intro, and then cut stuff out. Now, a live show changes things, obviously, but I think it's the understanding that there's no perfection in this world. There's no perfection, especially at 7 o'clock in the morning when you are talking behind a microphone. So if you wonder why sometimes you're like, why does he come back with music? Or how come he hit that sound? Or why is his Rome Show thing on the bottom pink today and not blue? Hey, these are just the things that we deal with when you are the writer, the producer, the talent, the co-host, the switch operator, right? You're the IT guy for your own podcast studio. Garrett Wilson's getting paid, so he might be able to cover all those jobs in his own studio with a 4-year, $130 million contract extension from the New York Jetropolitans. $90 million of that money is guaranteed for Garrett Wilson. In 2025, Garrett Wilson had the best year of his career. Okay. He had 101 receiving yards, 101 receptions, 1,104 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, since entering the league in 2022, he was named Rookie of the Year that year, by the way, is one of only 5 wide receivers in the history of the National Football League to record 1,000 yards and 80 receptions in each of his first 3 seasons. The other benefit to the Garrett Wilson extension here for the New York Jets, in 3 years as a Jet, he has played in all 17 games each year. Okay. And his rookie year, was essentially last year. So that's a beautiful thing to be able to say. His third year in the league was his best year, but it mirrored his rookie year, and he's that consistent. So good for the Jets, okay, who have now Justin Fields paired with Garrett Wilson to be the duo. And if he's able to been able to do this with a combination of Zach Wilson, God knows who else has started, Joe Flacco probably. I mean, throw in that Mike White guy, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like if you've been able to do this in 3 years with these three, imagine what it's like if you actually get some rapport with Justin Fields. So I think a great decision there by the Jets. And Garrett Wilson was clearly a little unhappy last year with Aaron Rodgers, though he clearly played well with Aaron Rodgers. There was clearly some unhappiness there. And I think now that that's out the door, the Jets are like, all right, we got to lock this guy up because this right here is our guy. That was a rental. This right here is our guy. Some other news in the National Football League, the 49ers, for like a 15th straight year, have a wide receiver or a position player or somebody holding out, okay? This time it's Jawan Jennings, who has $7.5 million remaining on his 2-year contract extension signed last season. However, he's coming off the best season of his career, 77 receptions, 975 yards, and 6 touchdowns, according to the reports. He might not be holding out from training camp, but he's definitely unhappy and wants a new contract. Something's got to be in the water in San Francisco, because I feel like every year we start the NFL season, someone that has been wearing a San Francisco 49ers uniform is holding out every single year. It makes no sense. So, though there's a lot of winning going on there during the Mike Shanahan era, it seems like there's also a lot of holding out and a lot of frustration with John Lynch and the organization. Tough place to be if you're, quote unquote, always considered a Super Bowl contender. It's really hard to be in the place of fighting players that are key players for your offense or defense every single year about their contract extensions. Finally, this is a wild story. Not going to get deep into it, but former NFLer Teddy Bridgewater, who is now a high school football coach at his alma mater in Florida, Miami Northwestern, was suspended indefinitely from his head coaching football position. You might ask why. Well, I'll tell you why. Teddy posted on Facebook saying he last year paid for Ubers, meals, and recovery for his players because they couldn't necessarily afford it, wanted to help them out, whatever the case was. In that same post on Facebook, mentioned that this year he's trying to collect donations for those same items so that his players or Teddy or whoever can have the experience they need, and Teddy's not bringing money out of his pocket. Well, the school gets wind of this, and they suspend him because that's impermissible benefits. I have one thing to say. What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? There's a man with millions of dollars coaching a high school football team, helping dudes that need money. It's his own money, by the way. And we're going to say it's illegal. And we're going to say that that's not fair. Why? Because other people at other schools can't do it. No, they can do it. They're just not choosing to. Well, he's the head coach of the team. Okay. So if he's not the head coach of the team, somebody else with that same amount of money can come do the same thing and it's legal. To me, those are the things where we need to look and say, what are we doing here? Because there are dudes at the next level above what Teddy Bridgewater is coaching that are getting $1.5 million. Better yet, they're getting this on the side to make them commit to a place or go somewhere. This has been the history of sports, people. But at the high school level, seriously? So how come Michael Orr's situation isn't illegal? That's a legal play? You're allowed to house another human being in your house, put them on the football team, and we're good? It's not impermissible to give him a house? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the line here? Where's the line? I can't get an Uber for a kid that doesn't have a car and needs a ride home. That's illegal, but I can put a dude up in a house and he can live with me and we're good. I don't know what the line there is, but I find this a very interesting story because I thought it was awesome that Teddy Bridgewater puts it on Facebook. I'm trying to get donations for my guys. Let's go. You're suspended. Like, what? That's the stupidity on some sides of sports. All right, I got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go make some money, okay, so we can keep this Rome show tent afloat here on 12 OZ Sports. Back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., joined by my brother Rocky for Hockey with Rocky. Oh, just kidding. We changed it to Rocky's Roundup. See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your Tuesday. Until then, be electric. And peace.
Thank you for listening.